The quarterback would have been here impressive.
Very athletic. He's in a system where the system takes advantage of his abilities. And, he moves the pocket, he escapes. The receivers keep working. He completes balls down the field. I think their offense is really complete. I think they have a very solid offensive line. They do a great job of blocking at the point of attack. And then the backs do a nice job of working behind it and getting vertical when they see the seams.
Is it obvious that Rodriguez is starting to get more of the guys that fit his system into the program now? Guys that maybe play better in that style than the guys he's had in the past?
Can you notice that? That's a good question. I never studied him until he arrived at Arizona. I know that their operation seems to be moving really smoothly because I think everyone's comfortable with what they're doing. All the players are comfortable with the system, and they've got players in place that really do a nice job in this system.
Coach Ifo was saying that he wants to see some of these guys on defense just kind of step up and be more aggressive out there, not wait for other guys to make the plays. Is that something that you see how the defense that you want to see improve?
I think defensively, we need to every week we all need to improve. I mean, all of us need to, and I think as the season goes on, normally there's guys that start to emerge, guys that have all of a sudden feel comfortable in the system, and we're always looking and trying to push that because to be successful in this league, every week you have to get better. You can't stay the same. And everyone's getting better, you have to get better. And part of us getting better is everyone's stepping up their game a little more every week. And we're hoping that continues to happen.
On that note, what kind of things have you seen in the last week and a half in terms of the facets of their game or individuals that have making significant improvements?
I think the biggest thing I've seen in practice this last week is the energy level has been up. The attitude from the standpoint of how hard guys are running to the ball, how hard guys are attacking the ball has improved. And obviously the third thing is overall the communication. The spirit's been really good, and that's a very positive thing.
Getting a pass rush is important no matter who you're playing, but is it maybe a little more important against a guy like Solomon who hasn't played in a big road game like Autzen before?
I think when there's opportunities to rush the passer, you have to be prepared. But the thing you have to also be prepared for against this guy, or if you play Marcus Mariota, you have to be very smart with however you're tackling him.
Right.
Because if you miss those guys, they can go the distance. So, obviously we've got to do a great job of containing the run and the pass. And obviously when we have our opportunities, we've got to try to get after them.
4 games in, what are your takeaways of the inside linebacker play? Obviously, you oversee that group and have for a while. What do you see about these guys 4 games in?
I think the inside linebacker group as a whole, we've progressed every game. We've gotten better, but we haven't had a great game yet. No one's had a game where we're coming off the field going, yeah, that was awesome. But we've gotten better every game. So there's a lot of plays on the field that we've left out there that if we make, we're all going to be jumping up and down.
The rotation, you guys lost obviously a couple guys there from attrition in the offseason. It looked like that might have made some guys play more often than veterans there, but yet Jimmy's come in, Johnny's come in, even Danny when he was healthy for a bit. Has the rotation been what you wanted? Have you been rotating the guys through like you'd like to so far?
I think we've been doing a pretty decent job. We need to continue to rotate guys a little more, and a lot of that, hopefully everyone's performing well in the special teams, and then as everyone performs on the special teams, we can rotate a little more on defense. So we'd like to get a little more rotation, but guys have to perform and do a good job in both phases.
Early, I guess, progress report on Jimmy, who's again only 4 weeks into his career and is already getting significant minutes and more as each week goes on.
I think Jimmy's done a nice job, and I think the bye week was very good for him because there were some things that weren't clear that now he's cleared up. And so he's had a really good week of practice, and we just need him to continue to progress.
Has Charles Nelson started getting some reps on defense in practice?
Charles Nelson could do anything he wants. Charles is a tremendous athlete. He's been, he's doing a lot of different things for us, and we're happy with him, and hopefully he can contribute in a lot of places.
But where would he be able to contribute if, so say, Charles Nelson wanted to play defense?
If Charles Nelson came over and said, "Hey, coach, I really want to play defense," I would say, "Charles Nelson, we love you on defense," and we would get him out there and work him into rotation. The tough thing when the guys at this level playing offense and defense, you have to limit their package so much. You're not trying to teach them all the stuff, and it's hard to say, well, we're just going to put a person out there and play man, but then all of a sudden it's combination routes and rub routes and all those things that you've got to kind of coach him a little bit. But if he came over and said he would like to play defense, I'd smile.
Was there any discussion when you were recruiting him to try and convince Mark to let him come on D?
He was too explosive on offense. I mean, you put his film on in high school, and he's making running back kicks and punts. He's doing the same thing, some of the things he's done for us, so it's hard to build a case to change. But
Right.
Don, when you look back at the defense, do you look at the fact that, hey, you guys are 4-0, you've made stops when you needed to make stops? Do you look at the stats? What do you kind of look at when you're evaluating how you guys have played defense?
when we evaluate the game, we're looking at the progression of the game. And the game's not always, I mean, it's easy to measure outcomes, but it's a little more it's a little more important for us to measure series and then break it down by series, so what happened on the series. And you can look at calls, you can look at a lot of things in series, but that's what we look at. You know, and you give any given series that whether, could you call something better? Maybe. Could you tackle better? Maybe. Where is it? And that's where we spend a lot of time trying to figure that out.
When you've looked at that, what's been sort of the overall takeaway from how you played the first four games?
Inconsistent. It's unfortunately, it's kind of the same thing we've said a couple weeks, but it's been inconsistent. There's been some great things, some great plays, and there's been some plays and situations we really could have been a lot better. Players, coaches, all of us could have been a lot better. So it's a work in progress, but that's how it works. The nice thing is that we've been able to, in spite of all that, still be successful. And we feel when we get those things cleaned up or keep moving forward, we can actually be really successful. I mean, really. So that's the charge now is, okay, here's the things, we've identified them. Now let's go to work on these and see if we clean these up, if we can really play a solid game.